Hey Money Guy family, it's your host Brian Preston back with another episode of Ask the Money Guy.
That's right, you guys have financial questions, we've got your financial answers. Go out to your favorite social, use the hashtag AskTheMoneyGuy. You can go to our website, moneyguy.com, or you can even ask a question in the YouTube comments below.
It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
So Brian, this is one we get all the time because we try to give people solid advice about how to think about managing their financial affairs and how to know when to do what sort of things. And sometimes we give advice that's based on where you are from a tax perspective. So we get this question all the time. Hey guys, how do I know what my tax rate is?
Man, taxes makes people shut down. There's
That's
a lot of people that just heard tax rates. Nope, I'm out. No, don't leave yet. Because we do think this is such an important thing. The two biggest things we talk about when you're figuring out what impacts your returns is also what fees and taxes you pay.
That's
so
right.
You got to control those components. So please understand your taxes. And when people talk about tax rates, here's what they're talking about. There is what's known as marginal rate. Bo, tell them what a marginal rate is.
Your marginal tax rate is the tax rate that you pay on the next dollar you earn. A lot of you may know this, but we actually in the United States of America work under a progressive tax system. So the first bit of income is taxed at this percent, and then it goes up to this percent and that percent and that percent. Well, your marginal tax rate is the tax bracket that the next dollar of income you earn would be taxed at.
So you just know every dollar coming down the pipe after that point until you get to the next higher tax rate is going to be at that
That's
level.
exactly right.
Exactly where Bo explained it. Effective tax rate is something completely different. This is more of a average rule of thumb. If you're trying to just do some, napkin math on figuring out what the tax impact of a situation is, it's not uncommon for people to use effective tax rates
right.
when they're doing analysis of things. And that's what when people talk about, when you see somebody say the effective rate or the tax rates were around 20%, they're probably just taking an average, wouldn't you say, Bob?
Yeah, that's exactly right. A really easy example is, let's say that you have $20,000 of income, and if the first $10,000 was taxed at 10% and the next $10,000 was taxed at 20%, your marginal bracket would be 20%, but your effective, what you're actually paying, would only be 15%. Exactly like you said, it's an average of the two.
So let's break this down. For planning purposes, when you're looking at every future dollar you make sure you're using the marginal rate. For if you're doing napkin math and you're just trying to do some basic understanding of how much money you'll get to keep on this coming in, sometimes, it's okay to use an average or a rule of thumb or something like an effective, but it's not quite as efficient or specific as a marginal rate. And then last but not least, our tip is do not forget those state income
That's
taxes.
exactly right.
Because, marginal rates, exactly as Bo said, they go up a progressive rate from very little at the beginning, and the more money you make up to 37% federal rate. But don't forget your taxes in your state. A lot of states will have a 4, 5, or 6%, and they're still considered progressive, but you'll notice it runs up really quick. I know when I was doing tax planning in Georgia, we pretty much just used 6% on
That's
everything
exactly right.
because you run up into that 6% rate really quick.
The one other caveat we would throw out there is everything we're talking about here has been based on ordinary income, the income you pay on money that you earn. Exactly. You also need to know that different types of income have different types of tax rates. There are also capital gains tax rates. Dividend tax rates. Those sort of things are taxed differently than ordinary income. So whenever you look at your investment portfolio or how to decide between Roth or pre-tax or how to know when your Social Security might be taxed, you need to understand all the different types of income you have coming in and the different tax rates associated with those different sources of income.
So as you can see, this is complicated, lots of facets to the tax wheel, but at least now, when they're passing the dressing at Thanksgiving, when they start talking about tax rates, you'll know the difference between effective, marginal, state income taxes, as well as capital gains and dividends. We got you covered. You can nerd out with the best of them.
Your Thanksgiving conversations are much different than my Thanksgiving conversations.
Believe me, tax rates are much better than politics in this day and time.
If you have a financial question or something you're curious about, feel free to go out to your favorite social, use the hashtag AskTheMoneyGuy, or you can go to our website, moneyguy.com, or you can even ask a question below in the YouTube comments. Thanks so much for the question. Keep them coming.
Money Guy team, out.